Hello, I'm Full Paragon, and this is your guide to the Princess Runner Arena. So this is the second time we've seen the Princess Runner boss. As usual, she is weak to lightning and she will target the front unit. The waves are 2 then 4 water runners, so unlike last time, they will all be of the water element, meaning they are all weak to lightning. The boss will buff herself on the first turn, increasing her agility by a lot and her strength by a not insignificant amount. On the second turn, the boss will use a bind on the first unit, paralyzing it. This is a good reason to use Megumin, as with very careful timing, you can use Megumin's skill during the animation so that it will still go off, but Megumin will be bound, explode, and then swap out so you don't have to worry about the paralysis. On the fifth turn, the boss will buff its self-defense by quite a bit, making it much harder to damage. Try to skip this by using an agility down. Either Kazuma's Snipe Ultimate or School Union's skill that does a tier 2 agility down can force the boss to use their ultimate ability on that turn, thereby skipping it and increasing your DPS. This is going to be significantly different from the first time we had the Princess Runner boss, mostly because we will have Meru available. As a weakness debuffer, Meru is extremely powerful, especially since she is in the lightning element. She works either with mages using School Union, or even better with physical and using Festival Kazuma. If you don't have Meru, any other tier 2 weakness debuffer can work, but they're not nearly as good. Meru's typed ultimate with a tier 2 agility buff, as well as a self tier 3 attack buff, is so much better than any other choice you could have in this slot, and without her, it's going to be really hard to get into top ranks. The choice between mages and physical is kind of hard here. I will say that if you have Festival Kazuma, physical is probably going to be a lot better. It will tend to resist the damage the boss deals better, as physical units are usually more tanky, and Festival Kazuma and Meru are an incredible combination. They're extremely hard to beat. The best teammates to use with this team are going to be Mitsurugi and either Iris or Chris. You'll want to have Mitsurugi come into the front slot because he's a much better tank than your other options. You can use his personal weapon or Chunchumuro on him. Either will work. As for Union, you really need to have El Silo and School Union for the mage team to really shine. You can make some replacements, mostly by using 3-star Union instead of the 4-star School Union, as that lightning ultimate is way too good to pass up. Her good teammates would be Swimsuit Riz and 3-star Lightning Aru. Don't try and use Komeko here, except maybe in the last slot. She's just not any good. So the reason to use Megumin here mostly comes down to the waves. The second wave has 4 enemies and you'll need some AoE. Most of the really good characters on this team, like Festival Kazuma or School Union, only have single target attacks, and you don't really want to be blowing those on the waves. So your best bet is to have Megumin come in to do the AoE necessary to clear out the waves in quick succession, even if the boss does resist her explosion. ReZero Megumin, as usual, is your best option here, although for those of us who weren't playing then, you can use Snow Megumin and she'll do kind of alright, although not nearly as good. ReZero Megumin is especially good on the mage team thanks to her excellent buffs, but she'll work for the physical team as well. She's also very good at absorbing the stun that the boss will do after its second turn. This requires some tricky timing to pull off. If you're curious about it, you can watch my stream that will be coming up, and I'll show you how to use this ability to avoid the stun and get the most DPS on your run. As I mentioned, I think the physical team is probably the best bet, and this is the form that I think is going to give you by far the most return on investment. I will say that it's probably a little bit better to use ReZero Megumin, but Snow Megumin works quite well here, and the physical team isn't going to get that much out of the buffs that ReZero Megumin has, as the magic attack up will do absolutely nothing. You will want Mitsurugi to come in as the tank, since the boss mostly targets front. He's your best bet in lightning as a physical tank. Leah is also an alright option as a physical tank, but she doesn't have the ability to offer a tier 3 attack buff, or the recovery options that Mitsurugi does, so I think he's by far the best bet. You can use his personal weapon instead of Chunchumuru if you're struggling with survivability, as the extra recovery and defense that it offers can more than make up with it. In the last slot, Iris is also a good option, as she can always do a lot of last second DPS, but I think Snow Chris wins out ever so slightly in that category. As far as the mage team goes, if you don't have School Union, it's not nearly as attractive, but if you have Meru and you don't have Festival Kazuma, you can try and make it work, as the typed basics that mages have offer a real advantage when it comes to a weakness debuff. The nice thing about Meru is, since she buffs her own physical attack, she works absolutely fine with mages. And if you're using El Silo, she buffs both physical and magic attack for more uptime on that buff. Mages are going to have a little bit harder time surviving here. El Silo isn't nearly as robust as Mitsurugi is for surviving damage, but she does have some more healing, so with some lucky targeting, this team can pull it off. You can try and use Swimsuit Wiz to soak damage, but unfortunately she's probably going to die here, as she just doesn't have enough recovery to absorb the boss's damage in most scenarios. Other good choices here would be Christmas Wiz, as her ability to offer gauge up is good as always, or PJ Aru, who is a 3-star, can work quite well as well. Your absolute last option is Komeko. Her terrible ultimates just don't do you any favors here, especially since the boss will resist her fire-typed ultimate, which is really her only decent one, even if all it really offers is pure damage. That's the video, thanks for watching. I'll be doing a stream on the second day of this arena to show off how to take care of this boss, and to just hang out and chat for a little bit. Hope you'll tune in then, and check back soon for more Konosuba Fantastic Days videos and guides.